Hello, so if you can see this monstrosity of a flag behind me, that is the flag of the Black Country, which is the area of England where I'm from and I grew up in. And I wanted to chat a bit about that today, and I wanted to talk about the accent and things surrounding that and sort of what it's like to grow up there and what exactly is the Black Country. The Black Country is an area of England. It's not a specific region, it's more of a culturally defined region of towns and villages to the west of Birmingham, including Wolverhampton. And Wolverhampton, it just calls itself the city of the Black Country, but I'd say the real Black Country heartland is in the neighbouring town of Dudley, and I think that calls itself the historic capital of the Black Country. At least it did on the sign when we drove into it the other day. A lot of people from outside the Black Country will get the accent confused for the Brummie accent, and it's weird because I can tell if someone's got a Black Country accent or a Brummie accent, but there aren't really any specific differences that I could find on the internet between the two, apart from a few dialectal words. I think the Black Country is slightly more archaic than Brummie. Especially older people in the Black Country will use a lot more old-fashioned words. In fact, it derives a lot from Old English. It's also believed that a lot of Shakespeare plays were meant to be read in a Brummie or Black Country accent because Shakespeare was from nearby Warwickshire. The Black Country is so named because it's meant to be that during the Industrial Revolution, it was really where this area around Birmingham saw massive economic growth. It was said that the skies were red by night and black by day, or maybe the opposite. Either way, the sky was meant to be black with soot. It was that full of factories and industrialisation, and that's how the Black Country got its name. It's not to do with the race of anyone living there or anything like that. I think there's been a slight resurgence of interest in the Black Country and Birmingham now, thanks to Peaky Blinders. I've seen people go out and get their own hats. I've got a Peaky Blinders hat. I'll put it on to demonstrate. No, the flag fell down. Okay, the flag fell down. I just kind of quickly put it back up before I lose my train of thought because I'm very likely to do that. What was I saying? I've actually forgotten now. So it's been quite nice to have like a bit more tourism come to the Black Country Living Museum in Dudley, which I believe is where some of Peaky Blinders is filmed. I actually haven't seen it. I've seen the first episode. I haven't watched any more. I'm not sure about the accents actually in that, but that's another story. Brummie and Black Country accent around this area is often voted as the ugliest accent in the UK. If the Black Country isn't voted the ugliest, it'll be the Brummie. Liverpool's normally not too much further higher up, but anyway. So people think that people from Birmingham and the Black Country speak in a slow sort of dithering way, like they're not sure of what they're saying. They ask questions at the end of every sentence. That's how they think we talk. But what's really interesting is that people not from the UK, they tend to quite like the accent here, and it brings up some really interesting questions about accent and class that I've mentioned in another video, where perhaps it's not so much that the accent is ugly, but people are more likely to look down on our accent because it's where the working class are from. It's the area of industrialisation that people travel to just work in perhaps not the best conditions during the Industrial Revolution. And perhaps because of that, whereas farmers and people who lived rurally could work on big fields and things in the open air, and whereas people from this area were working often not in the best conditions. And it's certainly something to look at more, this idea of perhaps accents viewed as sounding ugly being to do with class, because the Liverpudlian accent, the Scouse accent, is also viewed as negative. it's also viewed as not sounding very nice. That's normally with the Brummie accent towards the bottom of ugliest accent polls. And again, Liverpool was another of those areas that saw an economic growth during the Industrial Revolution, and a lot of workers, it's historically been very working class, and people also look down on that accent. And you can see other similarities in other cities. Some people don't like the Mancunian accent, for example, whereas southern accents and accents from rural counties perhaps don't have that connotation. Just a thought. As Lee, who is above me, just pointed out, I'm not actually doing a proper Black Country accent. Perhaps subconsciously or consciously, it's because of the negative stereotypes associated with the accent, that people from the area aren't clever and things like that. You don't want to be associated with all these negative stereotypes, so obviously you consciously or subconsciously work to change the accent like I have. The one giveaway for me when people meet me for the first time is when I say Birmingham. I say it with a very hard G instead of Birmingham. Birmingham. That's my one giveaway. Now, I could change that, but it's only been very recently that I've realised that this NG coalescence, it's called, that there's a difference between... I didn't realise that people would say singer, finger. I just thought they were saying singer and finger. I'd never actually realised there was a difference. I can try and do a stronger Black Country accent, but I'm not actually that confident in doing one. I'm doing it now, and I'm going to try and do a video for I Love Languages, which is a YouTube channel that I'm going to try and contribute to in my Black Country accent. But again, a lot of people have it a lot stronger than me. For example, I'm still pronouncing my T's when I probably shouldn't be if I'm doing a proper strong Black Country accent and not thinking about it. But trying to speak in this accent now, I'm very definitely making the effort, whereas in normal colloquial speech with my friends it might just slip out on the odd word. But when I'm talking to the camera, it's often that I will try and change the way I speak to speak more posh, perhaps. I'm going to stop doing that now because I'm definitely going to slip up in it. But me speaking like this usually just comes out in speech if I'm talking to someone or someone from the area, or if I want to. I've often at uni tried to go into this accent a bit more, so I'm not viewed with the negative middle class stereotypes, even though I am middle class. I've often gone a bit more into this accent subconsciously so that I'm viewed as one of them, one of, you know, the locals, just a normal uni student who's having to take out loans, which I am. Yeah, I'm going to stop that now because, like I said, I'm going to slip up. So I'm going to try and do some more in that accent for a channel, and I'll link that video below when I have done it and the video is up. Anyway, I'm interested to see what you guys think of the Black Country accent, whether you hear any major differences between that and the Brummie accent, or whether you like it. Especially if you're from outside the UK and this is maybe the first time you're hearing the accent, I'm interested to see what you think of it, whether you think it does sound all dithering and a bit slow, or whether you like it, because that could be definitely something to look into more with my suspicions about classism. And yeah, I've made another video on that with regards to uni, which I will also link. Anyway, I might make another video as well about this accent, talking about it a bit more, maybe when I've planned a more well thought out video. But that'll be it from me for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye. So I was just chatting to Lee about this video that I just made, and I just wanted to film this quickly to put it back in the video. But one thing people have noticed about me, Lee and like my uni friends, is that I tend to slip into my more natural Black Country accent when I'm upset or angry. So I think it definitely shows that there's some sort of conscious effort on my part. I say conscious, I don't really do anything consciously. Pretty much everything happens in my subconscious. But there's some sort of more conscious effort where I must be trying to do this, because when my emotions are, I guess, compromised and I'm not thinking as much, I don't speak as posh. It's interesting, but even with me going back into the Black Country accent, I've had, from going to a different secondary school for my sisters and out of the Black Country when I was 11, I've had basically 10 years of no practice in a natural Black Country accent, because when I was 11 was around the time I started to change the way I speak. So yeah, I will say I'm a bit out of practice with it. The other point is, yeah, it comes on more when I get angry or sad or surprised or shocked, because I've also said things like, wow, that's massive. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to add that in.